What's up? So, can we just talk about how the holidays are tough, especially for single people or for people who um have felt like an outcast for most of their life? Um, because for me, anyway, I don't know, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, I've always felt like I have been an outcast. I have always felt like I just don't, I'm not going to say don't belong, but don't belong, if that makes sense. And it's been a rough year this year for me, especially because I don't have that backbone of support like I wish I did, like most people do have. And it's kind of um discouraging, and kind of just like, what's the point? Um, I've been single for about 3 years now. Well, a little over 3 years, and it has just been it's been rough. I'm not gonna lie, but I have always tried to make sure that I try to just make the best of things, and spend it with the people that I do actually truly care about. But most of the time, when I try to do that, I still feel like I am just the black sheep. Like, I always feel like that. And I don't know if it's just me in my head, or if this is actually things that are true. So I have just been kind of like chilling in the background on my own, like just kind of staying out of the way, just working and staying out of the way. And I don't feel like that, as me being me, I don't feel like that I I have that support. Um, I've just never truly felt that. But last month was my dad's birthday. November the 19th was his birthday, and um, I really didn't want to go, but I ended up going anyway. And I'm actually kind of glad that I did, because we had a really good time. And not only that, um, my dad kind of gifted me, well, not kind of, but he gifted me with some equipment. And it was weird for me because I really did not think that my dad paid attention to things that I was interested in, because I've always been different. I've always been, kind of just, like I said, the black sheep of the family. And he he literally bought me umbrellas and lights and stands and backdrops um, that he found at a yard sale. And I've been playing around with them or whatever, and I still haven't got them actually set up the way I want them to, because it takes a lot of power, and my studio is actually running off of an extension cord, basically, and I don't want to overpower the circuit and all that, so I'm trying to wait until I get the underground wire put in. But he bought me all this equipment, and like I said, I really didn't think that my dad paid attention to me. I just, that's the honest to God truth. I really did not think that he paid attention to me and the things that interest me, and what make me happy and things like that. And anybody who knows me, I love taking pictures. I love videography. I love I want to know more about that world. And my newest inspiration from that within the last couple years is YouTuber Terrell Grice. He has been he's been a really big inspiration for me, and I feel like this candle is super loud, but that's what it's supposed to do. Crackles as it burns. I don't know. Anyway, but I feel like that he has been a huge inspiration for me, and I don't I don't know much about that world. I was in journalism when I was in school. I did yearbook and things like that, but I still don't know the fundamentals behind everything. And I would really love to learn about all that. So for my dad getting me this, it was a confirmation for me. And anybody who knows me, I'm a huge believer in God, and I pray and I talk to him on a daily basis. Like, God is my best friend. I talk to him several times a day. I just do. That's just me. And I feel like it was confirmation for me that I am on the correct path, that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Because for years, I have just been kind of, not to sound churchy, but wading through the waters just to see, you know, dabbling, trying to see what is my best fit. And anytime that I turn this camera on or this microphone on for my podcast or whatever, I always make sure, by the way, I am recording for both. So this will also be a podcast episode as well. And for those of you that are listening, this is a YouTube video as well. So make sure you guys go check out my podcast, Wounds to Wisdom. You can get it on Spotify, Apple Podcast. I think Google and Anchor is where I actually upload everything. So, and those for you that are listening, you can go to Jordan Marquise on YouTube and find me there. You can also go to TikTok and find me there. I am Chef Jordan Marquise. But I really want to dive into this. I really want to dive into this. And I've been saying this now for a couple years, and I just haven't really come up with any kind of good concepts to talk about or things like that. But my podcast really focuses on mental health, especially in the Black community, and therapy. Because I'm a huge advocate for therapy. And I don't know what it is that we are so ashamed to talk about things that have hurt us, that have made us feel some type of way, or really bothers us in our soul, in our heart, in our minds. And I just feel like this was a confirmation. My dad giving me this was a confirmation that I was on the right path, because me and him have not always had the best relationship. We haven't. It's mainly based on some things, and I have been very vocal about my sexuality and been very open with it. And it's not like they didn't know, because I'm sure everybody knew. I didn't want to do the typical things that boys did. I didn't want to, but I was also forced into doing the female roles as well, because I was the oldest child from him. And just to clarify, I'm his oldest child, my mom's only child. And being that I was the oldest, I had to make sure that the house was clean. I had to make sure the laundry was done, food was cooked. My siblings, I had to make sure that they got their homework done, got their baths, got their medicine, got them in the bed on time, woke them up on time, got them dressed, got them to school. That was my role. And I feel like because we haven't had the best relationship over the years, he's trying to make up for that now. And a lot of the times when parents realize that they have messed up with their children, they like to buy them. And what I mean is, they like to buy them gifts. They like to give them money to show that they care or that they support them and things like that. And not to disregard what he did, because that was, it's amazing. It really is. And I'm ever going to be grateful for him for that. However, I can't be bought. And I think that we need to really talk about that, because I see it every day, really, especially in the industry that I work in, of these kids who come from these terrible homes or terrible backgrounds, and their upbringing isn't so great, and I see their parents pick them up and how they talk to them, and one day and then the next day they're just the sweetest people, and like, oh, we're gonna go to get you some new shoes today. And it's almost like I don't know the correct term for it, and I've got my computer right here and I could just look it up, but I don't feel like doing all that. So I don't know the correct term for it, but it feels like they are trying to basically buy them. And that's a bad seed to plant, because when we are looking for potential partners and love, we think that, oh, if they talk to us like that and they get us a gift, that means they're sorry. And that's not necessarily the case. And I don't know why it is such a big deal when it comes to our parents not taking accountability for their actions and what they have done and how it made us feel. And if you come from a background like me or a house like me, you're not able to talk about things like that. You're not able to voice your opinion. You're not able to say what you want to say and say how you feel, because then it's going to lead to even more trouble. And that's how it was for me growing up all the time. Like, I was never able to say my dad said something and it hurt my feelings. I wasn't able to tell him that. Even still to this day, I'm really not able to, because, and I'm not going to say I'm afraid, because I'm definitely not afraid, because we have gotten into it, and I've told him exactly how I felt, cussed him out and everything, told him I would fight him, all this. But it's something when your parent has mental health issues that you can see, but they can't see. My dad is bipolar. He won't admit it, but he is bipolar. I also think that he suffers from PTSD from his childhood and his trauma that he went through, because he ended up having to leave. Well, this is what was told to me. I don't know how true this is, because I never really asked my grandma. But he told me that he had to leave when he was like 16 or 17 because of the home life, and he just didn't want to be there anymore, and he wanted to be out on his own. He wanted to do what he wanted to do. He wanted to have his own rules and all this other stuff. And I find it very interesting that when I was 16, I also left. And it wasn't even because I didn't want rules or anything like that, or I didn't want the discipline. It was the fact that I was getting abused, mentally, verbally, physically. And when I was younger, even younger than 16, I was getting sexually abused by family members. Not my dad, just to clarify. But I was being sexually abused, and that is where all of my anger issues come from, and my um, abandonment issues, and feeling like I just didn't have the support that I really truly thought I deserved. Um, and I think that is also why I don't have children now, because I've just been very careful about bringing a seed into this world when the world is the way that it is, and the way that I am trying to be on my healing journey first before I do that. Because I recognize that I have to heal past traumas in order to be better than I was, or better than my upbringing, so I don't carry that on to my seed, to my child. And I'm not gonna name any names or anything like that, but when I was going through being molested, that was a really difficult time, because I don't know if y'all know, but the saying that what goes on in this house stays in this house, I don't like that. And the reason I don't is because I was being abused, and I couldn't even talk about it. I couldn't tell anybody. I couldn't voice my opinion. I couldn't I just couldn't talk about it. Because if I did, 9 times out of 10, I would have been called a liar. Because that's actually what happened when it finally did come out. I was called a liar. I was called all sorts of names. And I didn't want to cause any or wreak any havoc on anyone's family or on their character or anything like that. And I'm hoping one day I'll be able to actually sit down with the person with one of the people who did this, and actually have a conversation about our healing journey together, because we are actually in a really good place today. Like, that's my dog. And I will fight anybody over him. I will go to war over him. And my little cousin. I definitely will. And I really hope, I'm praying on it, because that is something that I feel like is a part of our ministry and our testimony. I don't know, and I never said anything, one, because I didn't want to have to go through the courts and press charges and his life be ruined, and things like that. But I wish I would have done that with the other person, if that makes sense. Only because when that one happened, I was a lot older. And I still feel uncomfortable when they come around. I still I okay. When you go through something like that, and you're also experiencing physical abuse from the person who gave you life, or from one of the people who gave you life, you feel so alone and so excluded and so trapped that you don't know how to navigate it. You don't know how to talk about it. You don't know how to bring it up. You don't know how to deal with it or cope with it. And I look at a lot of these people now with the things that they deal with and how they act out, or how people think that they're acting out. And I think about what I went through, and maybe that they went through something similar. This isn't to give my dad a bad name or a bad rap, or to degrade him, or to make him out to be this horrible person, because he's really not. He has a heart of gold. He really does. He just does not know how to execute or express his love in the proper way. I feel like his love language may be the gift of giving. Well, that's a part of his love language. But I said I wasn't gonna cry. Do y'all ever get like that? Like when you think that you're over something, and you're ready to share it. It's like something just like a switch that just flips on, and everything is just turned into this emotional wreck. And I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, because he had asked me to come pick him up. So I did, and he's been through some things as well, and it's like his family doesn't even want to see him better, honestly. He's been through some things through his childhood. He watched his parents go in and out of jail all the time. He keeps getting in trouble with the law. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a saint, okay? Because I have done my dirt. But it's not to the extent of me just being an absolute criminal. Mine is minor stuff. But talking to him yesterday really gave me talking to him yesterday and also seeing it for myself, how his family, because the way his great aunt talked to him yesterday and me, and she doesn't even know me, it kind of gave me a better insight on how to deal with him. And what I mean by that is, and to deal with other people too, you never know what anybody else is going through. I was bullied in school. I was called the F word all the time. I actually had a teacher tell me that I would be raped and beaten and killed before I turned 25. A teacher. Not knowing that I had already been molested for years by several different family members. Not knowing that I was on the verge of suicide. Had already attempted once by that point. Not knowing the abuse that I was going through with my dad. And it was all because I asked one question. Well, I kind of sort of made a statement because I told her that I didn't know how to do something. And I guess she just was I'm not going to make any excuses for her because there is no excuse for that. And by the way, she is still teaching. But for her to tell me that, the person that you're supposed to be able to have a safety net with, it was kind of eye-opening. And it reminded me, what happened yesterday reminded me of that. If you say that you're going to help someone or be there for someone, don't degrade them in the midst of it. Don't talk bad about them. Don't just don't. It's one thing to express how you feel, but just to simply degrade somebody just because of past mistakes, it's not right. Or just because of you not liking them, it's not right. Or just because you don't like their other parent because it didn't work out with you, it's not right. Because at some point, You liked what you saw. You got with what you saw. And you made me. Or they made you. I don't know. It was a lot that happened yesterday, and I'm still a little pissed off about it because his great aunt called his mom and told her that we cussed her out and was being disrespectful. Mind you, when I pulled up, I sat in the truck until he came outside. Well, he was actually already outside. And he walks over to the truck and he says, "She wants to talk to you, so get out." "Why do you want to talk to me? You don't know me. I don't know you. What's the point? I don't have a reason to talk to you." But because she was older and it was her house, her yard that I was parked in for all of 2 minutes. Well, at that point when he came to the truck, I was only there for like 30 seconds. But the whole encounter was about 2 minutes. So I get out, I walk up, and she just goes to questioning me. And at first I was answering. She asked how long I had knew him. I said, "We've known each other for years." She then replies, "No, you ain't, because if you had, I'd been seeing you." No, not necessarily, ma'am. Because anybody can tell you. Any of his siblings can tell you. His mama can even tell you. I don't be around people. I just don't. Unless I'm at work, I don't be around people. I am in my shell. All the time. So then she wants to say that she's going to threaten. Then she threatened to call the police on me if I didn't have him back. And I was like, first of all, he's 23 years old. He's the one who called me to come pick him up. We have pictures together dating back to 2018. We lived together at one point. His mama knows me. All of his siblings except his oldest one knows me. Some of his cousins know me. So what exactly are you going to tell the police? So I just turned around and walked away. We get back to my house. We get a phone call from his mama. "Did you cuss? Did y'all cuss her out?" What? Child. The things that these folks be coming up with just to make themselves sound good, it makes no sense. You sat there and disrespected me, first of all, by threatening to call the police on me. For no reason. Never got disrespectful with you, never cussed you out, even though I could have. Never done any of that. But yet you want to try to play the victim. Oh, okay. So me being petty, because what you're not going to do is tell me what I'm going to do. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm almost 30 years old. I'm grown. I pay my own bills. I go to work every day for me. My money. My bag. That's what I do. Ain't nobody finna tell me what to do. You're just not. So me being as petty as I am, he stayed with me all day. I picked him up at like 12:30, 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. He stayed with me literally all day till like 8 o'clock, 8:30, something like that. I think I dropped him off at like 8 o'clock. But I dropped him off at his mama's, not his great aunt's. Don't play with me. I'm going to give you a reason to call the police on me. He went back unharmed. He was at peace while he was here because he clearly don't have it at home or at his great aunt's house. So I did my friend a favor and let him come and chill here yesterday. Because I know what it's like to constantly be berated, degraded, and talked down to like you are just the scum of the earth. I know what that's like. But anyway, yeah. So I'm still a little irritated about that, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm glad I could control my emotions, because boy, when that tear dropped, I really thought that I was done. I really thought I was done. Didn't think I was going to be able to put myself through that. But life is life. People are going to be people. And you just have to figure out how you're going to deal with them. Your life is your life. Nobody else can live it for you. Nobody else can run it for you. Nobody else can tell you how to live it. You have to live it. And at the end, you have to answer for how you lived. But anyway, love you guys. Again, check out my podcast, Wounds to Wisdom by Jordan Marquise. I'm going to, when I upload this video, I'm going to post a link or put the link in the description straight to the podcast. This is one of the episodes. So, yeah. Make sure you guys follow me on all social media. I have Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I don't have Twitter because I'm not really into Twitter. I mean, I have a Twitter, don't get me wrong, but I don't use it. Only time I use it is if I'm going to get some information that I need for a video or for an episode of the podcast. This video just so happened to coincide with the podcast, so I just decided to record them together. And it's really cool that I can record on one phone and then video on the other phone. It's really dope. Eventually I'm going to learn how to use the green screen and how to put in all that stuff. I'm going to actually try to do it on this video, so you might see it, you might not. But yeah, I love you guys. Peace out. Remember, you cannot live if you do not heal the past. So make sure you heal the past before you can move forward in the future. That's just, it's a life lesson that I had to learn. All right. See you guys later. Love you guys. Peace out.